Hi, my name's Jan Vidra, and today I'm just going to run you through our time clock. And so obviously you've signed up, thank you very much, and we hope to be a helpful tool in your business shortly. So when you get your email, you should check your email and you'll get a URL address that will take you directly to a page that looks similar to this. And you'll have your admin and login page. So this is our central login. This can be fully branded and the back color, and I'll show you how to do that. This is the portal where your employee will log in as well as your administrator, and that's who we're going to look at right today. So you just click on the username and it will most likely be admin, and then you'll have the password that you set in the sign up page. If you forget that password, then you can always go to forgot password and they'll resend it instructions to reset the email. So we'll just put in the details. So there we go. Here we've hit the main dashboard. It's very simple. We've tried to keep it as dumbed down as possible so anyone can just jump in there and change things and edit it. So this is your main admin dashboard for your entire time clock. And it makes up the basis of our entire base platform. So first thing that we're going to look at is the managing departments. So if we click on Manage Departments, this will allow us to start segmenting our business into departments. At the moment, there's none. The system comes set with a casual employee, but that's just a system setting. But what we're going to do is we're just going to create one very simply. We just click on Create Department, and we'll say Operations. And as you can see, now you've got an operations department. Let's create another one called accounting. You've now got an accounting department. There you go. And let's create another one called front of house. There you go. So now you've got three different departments that you can assign to employees. This is very important, so when you're running your reports, you can actually define who is allocated to each department, and it makes it a lot easier to filter through your costings and understanding where your staff hours are being used up. At this point you can edit it. Let's say we wanted to call this Operations 2. We can update it, and you can also delete it, so if you delete it, it will just disappear. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is we're just going to have a look at my employees before we look at my staff hours, because right now at the bottom here you can see you've got no employees. So we'll have a look at my employees, and there's really two functions there, and one's to create a new employee and the other one is to look at your employee list. So we'll look at create new. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to assign a username to your employee. So we'll just call this one test. And please feel free to follow this video and test it out yourself. So you have two types of users here. You have admin, which we are. You can have as many as admin users if you want, if you have multiple managers that you want to come in to monitor the hours and create new employees. And you have employee. The employee is basically the person that will clock on when they come to work. So we're looking at creating an employee. Okay, so we're basically confronted with all this information that's ready to be populated. Pretty basic stuff, so we're just going to put the first name in. And then we have an employee code. If you don't have an employee code, it doesn't matter, you don't need to fill it in. As you can see, it's not a critical field. You can define critical fields by this little asterisk here. If it's an asterisk, then you have to fill it in. You've got the state, then you've got the country, you've got a postcode or a zip code, you've got the phone number. Now this field here, email, is really critical because the minute that you create this email, make sure that you've got the right employee email because it's going to go straight out to them and they're going to then get a welcome to your time clock, and you'll have the ability to then not have to call them up, and when they come into work they can basically have a copy of that login and password. Now we've got an ATO number or an IRS number here. So basically that's just a digit for your own record keepings. In the future we'll be able to tailor reports for you to generate all this information and also posting into other accounting packages. But for right now it's up to you on how you want to manage this data. It's just held in the system. I do recommend you always to put the right details in. But for the purpose of this, I'm just going to put some dummy numbers in. And we've got superannuation. For those of you in countries that don't have superannuation, obviously, you can just fill it in blankly. And then we come up to the employee code. Remember those departments we created? Well, there you go. You've got the operations 2, accounting, front of house, and casual, like I said. So we'll make this one front of house, for example. And then you come down to the pay rate. So pay rate for this employee, let's say it's $25 or whatever currency you're in at this stage. And then you can put employee notes here just to keep records for yourself. Now, right now we're just managing ordinary hours. We are designing custom piece rate and contractor hours for our main platforms for those people using invoicing and purchasing, etc., etc. But for the moment, we're just going to allow ordinary hours. Then you just press save, and you get a confirmation that the account has been created. Now, what it has done, it's sent an email to the employee, like I said, and they will get a welcome pack with welcome to our business email. I do recommend that you write down their username and passwords just in case if their emails don't work, but at this stage, we won't worry about that. So then you come back again and you can create another employee. Now if I press home now, you will see that I have a new employee. The employee name's John Smith here. He's the front of house and he's clocked out at the moment and there's no last action. Now I can clock him in as an administrator if I want to. But at this stage I want to show you how the users work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to log out and I'm going to log in and pretend that I am John Smith. Now this is what John Smith sees. Again, very simple, you can't really get it wrong. Right now it tells me that I'm John Smith and that I'm currently logged out. It tells me the current time and it allows me to go simply clock in. So I'll just hit this button. And now I'm clocked in. It tells me I clocked in at 8:31 at this time. Now John Smith has a few options here. He can then just click up here and log out, or he can have a look at his history. He can have a look at his history like this, and basically he can see that he's clocked in. There's obviously no hours at this stage. And he can also print a PDF for his own copy. If there's any issues technically or he can't log in, we have an inquiry system for John Smith as well, which he can just go in and make an inquiry, and we will issue him a ticket and we'll make sure that we get his problems fixed. Now John Smith is clocked in. The next thing he's going to do is log out. So I'm just going to log in back as administrator. And there we go, on the dashboard we can see that John Smith, front of house, is clocked in. He clocked in on the 26th of the 10th, 2012 at 8:31 a.m. Now we can clock him out, but for right now we're just going to leave him clocked in for a little while. And then I'll clock him out so we can have a look at how we can run reports. Now while we're waiting for that, we're just going to look at managing existing employees. So we'll just go back up and we'll look at the employee list. And we'll just select employee. So that's the administrator of who we are. We can create as many of them as we want. And here's John Smith's file. We can simply edit it and go back in and change anything that we want. And just update it. Very basic. Now, we're just going to clock John Smith out now. So now he's clocked out at 8:33. And we're just going to move on to My Staff Hours. So this is a simple view that allows you to quickly display by department or by employee or just by everything who's been clocked in and when. As you can see, instantly we can see that John Smith has started at 8:31 and clocked out at 8:33. He's worked 0.003 hours at a rate of $25.50. So John has cost us, or cost the business, 77 cents. And as you've got more employees, this list just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And then you can basically export it to Excel, which I'll show you. And you get an Excel spreadsheet like this that breaks it down for you by John Smith, what the time clock activity was, and then the total report by staff member. So basically when you're consolidating your pay runs, you can very easily see what the hours are, who has put those hours in, etc., etc. Now, we've added a few other features. So let's say, for example, we wanted to edit hours. Now, you can only edit hours when you're searching. So if I just show you how that works, if we go back and click on My Staff Hours, you can see I can't edit hours. I have to do the search, and then the Edit Hours button comes up. So if I hit Edit Hours, obviously I've only got one to edit at the moment, and that's John Smith. So I'll just hit Edit, and then it will open up the clock in and clock out times. People do make mistakes, and we want to support you guys in having to keep your records, giving the ability to keep the records correct. So let's say John started at 8 o'clock, and he's finished at 8:45, for example, right? I'll press Save, and then instantly it recalculates to 75 hours and how much John has cost us again. Now let's say we've got another problem. If I want to hide that edit button, I just hide it like that, very easy. Let's say I've got another button. Let's say John has forgot to clock in yesterday. So what we'll do is we'll go to Add Missed Hours. We will select John Smith. We'll say, all right, well, John missed yesterday's hours, and yesterday he clocked in at 9 a.m. and he finished at 5. We'll just go Enter Hours. It will give us a confirmation button. We'll confirm. And if we have a look back, there you go. So John yesterday has now clocked in at 9 till 5, and we can see that our payroll has adjusted again. And that's basically how we use My Staff Hours at this stage. It's very easy and very quick. You can have this set up in a matter of minutes. We'll go back now, and what we're going to look at right now is just the bit of the functionality of the system. And what else is here? So we've got in admin tools, we've got My Nerves and menus. So this is basically the functions that you guys have. So for an administrator, you've got the administrative time clock. You've got you can create new. You've got My Company Details. And for employee, you don't really have anything for supplier and operations, but for my employee, you have the time clock, and we're going to continue to grow this. This allows you to edit things and change the structure of it. But at this stage, I wouldn't really worry about it, and I wouldn't be adding anything new at this stage. But just to know that there is this way of editing it. So My Company Details. So this is all your company details. When you sign up, we only capture some basic information that will just capture some simple stuff. You might want to expand on this and actually put your company detail in just to make sure that your records are all good, and just keep everything up to date. Don't worry about the accounting package, and don't worry about the inclusive of tax. Now, one little feature that a lot of people like is my logos and backgrounds. So if I click on that, so as you can see up here, you've got your business logo. And it's not very attractive, and we've just got a standard white background, right? So if I want to go and choose a logo, for example, I just get our own company logo, whatever it is for you. I'll just put my business like this, and I'll say I don't want a background at this stage. Please update my logo. So there you can see that now it's a branded site. So basically when people clock into the time clock, and if you log out of here, you will see that whenever anyone lands on your specific address for your time clock, you will have your own branded site. And if you've got a background, then the background will wash out here as well. So it makes it very personable, and we're trying to make it all about you. Okay, and the other point is we've got an inquiry system in admin as well. So you can make an inquiry. That inquiry instantly raises a ticket in our system. You'll get an email saying, hey, thank you for your inquiry, and someone will get back to you as soon as possible. And then you'll have an inquiry history here. At the moment, there's no inquiry history, and there will be correspondence here. We're trying to get as much feedback and support off you guys just to make sure that every step's working for you. Now, finally, and the one question that I get from a lot of people is, what if can't just anyone log on anywhere? And I said, yes, well, they can, but what we have actually done is created location locking. So we do this by identifying your IP address. So see up here, I've got an IP address here. That IP address is the gateway that my modem and my ISP negotiate when they connect. So this means that this is my unique ID. So in your workplace, you'll have a unique ID, and you can quickly set up security around locking down that location. What that means is that John Smith can only log on when he's in your premises, if he has access to your Wi-Fi. So for example, if you have an iPad that you use to clock in and clock off, or you have simply a phone or a PC, then only that PC or any of the devices connected to your modem will be able to be logged in. You might allow your staff to make it easy on you to access your Wi-Fi via their clock in and via their mobile devices, and that's no problem. Then they can clock in, and you don't need any other hardware to clock in. But to lock this away, it is very simple. So basically, you go to My Nerves and Menus, like I showed you before. You click on Employee, and then you'll click on Settings. Right, and it asks you for an IP address for that login, right? So what we'll do is, this is how easy it is. We'll just copy this one up here, paste it, update changes. Okay, if we just go back to settings, you can see that it's there now. You can put in as many as you want. So if you've got more sites, you can put in as many IP addresses as you want. Our system can work across multi-locations, so there's no need to lock it off just to one. You just put a dash after each IP address you put in. Now I'm going to log out, and you'll see right now, if I log in as John Smith again, I'll have no problem. I'll log in. I can clock in. But if I log out, and I'll go back to administrator, and I change that IP address, let's say I'll just change it to 1 million. I'll make one up, right? So I'll make that up like this. So now that IP address doesn't match this one, and I'll log out. You're not allowed. So basically, John Smith's been logged out. He's not allowed to access the system, which means that he's either on a different internet connection outside of your site, which protects you because no employees can log off unless they're at work. Now, this IP address system works best with a static IP address. What that means is your internet service provider gives you this number that's always yours. If you do not have a static IP address, don't worry. It just means every time your modem turns off, you'll just need to update this IP address. And that can be a bit of a problem, but you can speak to your internet service provider, or if your modem's running all the time, then you can just basically cut and paste it just like I did a minute ago. So I'll do it again, and then we'll log in again so you can see. So you just go My Nerves and Menus, Employee, Settings, paste in the IP address, update, log out. and then I can clock out. And in a nutshell, that's exactly what our system does. It is very simple. This is a time clock to introduce you to our systems and how we work. At Nucleus Logic, we're all about simplicity and creating intuitive software that can help you run your business. This platform is available for any internet-connected device, so you don't need to invest hundreds or thousands of dollars into any hardware. It's very easy to set up. It's very easy to run. It's extremely secure. And I hope that this video has given you a bit of an understanding of how it works. Now, if you get confused or you want more information, on the home button you can see learn more about this nerve. You just click on it and it turns around and it gives you a bit of an insight into the time clock and how it works. And again, it's just another way we're just trying to help you understand how this operates. And if you return to business, it just goes back to the normal time clock. Thank you very much for your time. I hope this becomes a great tool in your business. And if you need any support at all, please click on the inquiry button and one of either myself or my team will get back to you very shortly. Thank you very much.